Here's something most of us never really stop to think about. Someone sends a message. Tonight we are going out. And somewhere a person reads it, feels a wave of exhaustion, and quietly puts their phone down. Not because they dislike people. Not because something is wrong with them. But because they are already exactly where they want to be. So what is actually going on inside the mind of someone who never wants to leave the house? Because the answer might completely change the way you think about solitude itself. Let's start with what psychology actually says. This is not agoraphobia. This is not depression. And it is definitely not laziness. Psychologists call it home-centered orientation. A genuine conscious preference for home over almost any external alternative. Home is not where they retreat when the world becomes too much. It is simply where they most want to be. Think about what leaving the house actually requires. You get dressed. You perform enthusiasm you may not feel. You surrender control over your environment, your time, and your energy. And for some brains, that cost is simply not worth the return. Here are 4 psychological patterns that consistently show up in people who prefer staying home. The first is radical self-reliance. Many homebodies develop their preference early, often in childhoods where they came home to empty houses and learned to meet their own needs without anyone showing them how. That child learned something powerful. Home is your territory. The one place where you do not have to perform for anyone or meet someone else's expectations. And that lesson never left. The second is a need for environmental control. When you leave the house, you surrender control. You cannot control who you encounter or what problems arise. At home, you control everything. The temperature, the noise level, who has access to your space. For people who grew up in unpredictable environments, home became the one place where they could create order. And as adults, they simply continued that pattern. The third is low tolerance for inauthenticity. Homebodies see social interaction with unusual clarity. They recognize that most casual exchanges are scripted performances. The "how are you" that nobody answers honestly. The "we should catch up" that never happens. For people with a finely tuned detector for empty ritual, the question becomes simple. Why participate in theater when you can simply not participate? At home, there is no performance required. You can be exactly who you are. The fourth is internal validation. Homebodies do not need external approval to feel complete. They do not go out to be seen. Their sense of worth is generated entirely from within. Often because they learned early that external validation is unreliable. So they built their own internal scoreboard. And once that system is developed, external approval genuinely stops mattering. And maybe that is the most thought-provoking insight of all. What if home is enough? What if quiet contentment is more valuable than curated experiences? What if solitude is not a problem to solve, but a choice to respect? They are not broken. They are not missing out. They are living life exactly as they choose. Quietly, privately, on their own terms. If this felt like someone finally understood you, hit the like button and subscribe. And drop a comment below. Are you a homebody or do you prefer going out? I read every single one. See you in the next one.